Alright, so for this video, it's going to be showing you how to make one of the houses. So I'm going to grab out my template that I need. So I need my front and back piece, the roof, and then I also need a side piece. Which is tiny. Okay, so this is for the red little templates. That's what it's going to turn out to look like. It's the red house. All right, so then I'm going to take my cardboard and I'm going to be tracing my stencil onto my cardboard. I don't want to trace it over any like folds in the cardboard because it's not going to look the best. And then you're going to use a pencil or a Sharpie, and I might end up using a Sharpie just so you can see it on the camera. Oops. But you're going to trace around. The template. Try and make sure it stays. Otherwise, it's going to end up looking kind of weird. All right. So I will need 2 of these front and back pieces. So I'm going to try and like fit them on my paper the best I can, or not my paper, my cardboard, just to save some room. And remember, if you like line them up where they're sharing a line, it's less cutting for you. So I'm gonna like make this side share the line with here, but then it still has to be on the cardboard, but it's just less cutting. So you'll still trace it. So now I know this, I'll cut this line and I'll be for those. So I have 2 of my front and back piece. Then I need 2 of my side pieces and then 2 of my rough. So I'm gonna do my rough like over here, and I'm lining it up on the edge instead of like putting in the middle, because then I have to cut all the way around. But if I line it up on this nice edge, this sides are already cut. So we're being kind of smart about where we're putting our pieces to do less cutting. I'm lining that up. Okay, then I'm gonna see if I can fit one of my side pieces here. So same thing, I'm gonna line it up on the edges, just so I'm doing less cutting. And it's gonna save on our cardboard too. We're gonna use less cardboard. Then I can probably do the same over here. Might just make it look exactly the same. So I'm gonna line it up on the edges so I cut less. And then trace. Oops. Make sure you hold down that stencil. And I need another one. Okay, so now that I got all my pieces stenciled out on my cardboard, I'm gonna cut them out with the scissors. And try and stay on the lines. Okay, once I'm done cutting, I can look at all my pieces. So I have 2 side pieces, and then 2 roof, and then 2 front and back pieces. Now I'm ready to start putting together. So I'm gonna look at my side pieces and my front and back, and I'm gonna look what side lines up, you know, where this corner is, because it's gonna go just like this. So if I were to turn it this way, it looks kind of the same. This way it looks the same too, okay? Let's see. I think either way will be fine. Just have to make sure this point on each side are lining up with the ends. So now I'm gonna take my hot glue and I'm gonna put just a tiny bit of hot glue on the side. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna keep my fingers away from the hot glue so I don't get burnt, and I'm gonna stick them together. Okay, and then they'll need to kind of dry, but I'm just gonna keep gluing. Okay, and then I'm gonna add some glue to one side of my other side piece. And then I'm ready to stick this on. If you have tape, oh shoot, I didn't do that right. If there's tape on one side, put that in the inside. Because when we paint, it'll just look nicer if it's only cardboard. I forgot to do that here. Or if there's letters or writing or something, make sure it's in the inside so we don't have to paint over top of it. All right, then I'm ready to glue together my back piece. So I'm gonna make sure this label goes on the inside, and I'm gonna add glue both to each side here. So I'm gonna work kind of fast, applying my glue. And we're gonna stick it together, making sure it lines up. So I'm gonna make sure it lines up here, lines up on the bottom. Okay, so I got my house. Now I need to add my roof. So my roof is gonna be added to the sides here, just like this. So an easy way to do this is first, you know, see how it's gonna go. So I'm gonna have a little bit of overlap on each side. So there's gonna be a little bit of extra hanging down. Oh, this has to, it's coming apart. So I'm gonna start focusing on the top first. And I'm gonna put a little bit of glue kind of on my tops here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put a little bit on the bottom. We don't need like glue everywhere because it will stay together. Looks like this popped apart and then dried. Okay, so I'm gonna press my roof on. Now to make sure it's right at this little point. And it's sticking, I got it all on my roof. Perfect. Okay, and I'm also gonna hold together this. Okay, so we're gonna let it dry a little bit. If this little crack bothers you, you can try and squeeze some glue in there and then press it down. You'll just have to hold it there for a while. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of hold it there, but I'm also gonna glue on this next piece. So now we got the other side of the roof. It's gonna go just like the same. And I'm gonna apply a little bit of glue on the top. And then on the bottom. Then I'm gonna stick my cardboard. And if I flip it upside down, I can kind of see if I have everything lined up. I just burnt myself. All right, so I got the cardboard hanging over the sides a little bit. That's definitely what I wanted. And they're meeting nicely at this point. That's perfect. Okay. So I'm just gonna hold this kind of in place, let it dry. If there's any parts that are kind of sticking out weird, just add a little bit more glue, but you don't need a ton of glue. So remember that, you don't need a whole bunch. So I'm just gonna hold this together while it dries, and then I'm ready to start painting.